Hello everyone, welcome back to some more of The Great Ace Attorney. Last time, what happened last time? It's been a while for me. We started this case and found out that Kazuma, our best friend, the guy that helped us essentially acquit ourselves last chapter, or last case, died. Yeah. Anyways, and we're accused of doing the crime because, what's it called? We were on our trip. We were stowing away in Kazuma's cabin on a trip so we can see Great Britain, but he ended up dying. We got found, so they think we did it. Yeah. Anyways, after proving our innocence to Susato, we investigated the room and met up with a peculiar individual, namely Herlock Sholmes, the world's self-proclaimed great detective. And yeah, he ended up giving us some information and a few bits of evidence, like this article about a revolutionary that has on the back of it the article about a missing ballerina. So yeah, I also do want to apologize before we start, because last time I was like speaking way too fast. Like, I noticed it in the recording, I was like, what? So I'll try and speak a little slower from now on. Hopefully that will sound a lot better. But yeah, whatever. I guess let's just get this started, yeah? Anyways, the company's most anxious. They've requested a thing. Oh, okay, so it's just talking about how a Russian ballerina fled with some $300 tiara or whatever. Anyways, what was it? Let me go back a few bits. Let's see. On the back. Oh, wait, did he just randomly say on the back? That doesn't make sense. Whatever. Cast your eye over it some time if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. Oh, that's because I glanced on it, that's why. I don't believe someone... Okay, that was it. Okay, never mind. I'm stupid. Anyways, let's ask him what he was just investigating. Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you? Kazuma? Ah, yes, the victim. Did you notice anything unusual? Anything at all? Observe, for a moment, the desktop of the victim. We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. London Diary. Oh, London Diary. Kazuma was keeping notes of the trip. Ah, but I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset people. Tragic, tragic, and something you ought to perhaps elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you read it already? You know Japanese? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Susato takedown is. Susato-san? Aren't you gonna throw the detective with one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth do you mean? Yeah? You're gonna fool at me for just glancing, but when he starts reading now, yeah, okay. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely this diary belonging to the victim. It would appear that the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray, be precise as to details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado. Nado. I know Japanese. Nado. I trust you're suitably impressed. But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters, of which I can read precisely none. So what was all that about showing off about before, huh? If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes. Yeah, so you're gonna read it? Really? I'm much obliged, my dear madam. The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. A whistling sound? These are very deep waters. Pray, go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. It looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? What, 15 minutes later? A speckled band? What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall, which connects the adjoining cabin. Whatever. Better to fumble a few words than to speak too quickly, yeah? Yes, the adjoining cabin. So yeah, whatever happened in that cabin must have... Something must have happened in the cabin next to us that kind of came over. Huh. Alright. Let's see what we got. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being at least. Do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter wants further investigation, I believe, and if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose you're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to? Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So, yes, I intend to investigate. Hence, the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No, that would be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer. Oh. These. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter, no? There's no point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. Yeah, he named us as the prime suspect, which is... You must be joking! You just said it! Only a moment ago! Dear me, you are clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know. Not really. So, what, were you looking at my niece before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, that was then and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Okay, now he's just being plain rude. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor is as twisted as his name. Sherlock, Herlock, okay. Now, Hodo-san, what are you just standing right there for? Hmm? We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well. Yeah? Did you not hear the very reason why I couldn't do specific... Whatever. Aren't you forgetting something? What about... Yeah? After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? You're just going to roll over and accept your fate? Ugh, as if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. Alright, well, at least we know where to go. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea. I hope that's a good Susato voice. I'll have to listen back on the recording, but whatever. I mean, I was going to do this voice, but it sounds too much like my normal voice, so... I figure something a little more brighter, maybe that might do something? Or no? Whatever. The situation doesn't look too good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this. And bring the real culprit to justice. Alright, so, let's do this. Okay, what is this? Seigi, the Japanese words for justice. The brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. Yes, his calligraphy was always a reflection of his heart. Yet can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully? Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Even though you stowed away on this ship? Hey, it was his idea. Don't look at me. It was his idea. Blame him. Blame Kazuma. Now you're gonna bring that up, are you? I can't win. Whatever. I believe there's just 2 more things we have to investigate here, which is this. The books have fallen over on the shelf. Look, they've all toppled the same way. And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea? And although he's fallen over as well. Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked, and everything mown down at once. I wonder if... perhaps it was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training, do you think? Well, huh. Obviously there had to have been some sort of struggle in here, because the dinner bones on the floor, that's all tipped over and thing, and Ryunosuke has like a headache or whatever. So... someone had to like struggle all over the room or whatever. Matter of fact, yeah, his sword's out. It must have been a full fight or whatever. I seriously doubt that. Then perhaps it was you, Naruhodo-san, in a fit of rage? I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder? Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. Yeah? Whatever. Anyways, and this, I think. Yes, that. Those are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Buria. It's essentially just a list of requirements from the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabin. Pets are also strictly forbidden. What? Why are you staring at me? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? I can't decide. Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. Huh. Well, I think that's everything we need in here. Yes, it is. More than likely, please? Yes, great. Let's talk to this fellow here. Excuse me. What? I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Would you mind if I investigated a little outside? Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes. But it's not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal asking prison guard to help him escape? Very funny. We're in the middle of the sea. There's no chance of me escaping. Niet! You stay in this cabin until next port. Then it's up to Hong Kong police to decide what they do with you. You stay. Alright. There's no point in trying to appeal to this man's better nature, that's for sure. Yeah? I literally can't do anything? Oh, the door. We can investigate the lock. When I went for help and the crewmen forced the door open, this bolt had been firmly closed. Huh, it's quite a small bolt, and not particularly sturdy, and it just slides across to secure the door shut. But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. It's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense all up and down my spine. I remember reading once in a detective novel. The Cobra used a needle and thread to draw a bolt across from outside the room in a situation just like this. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabinet and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There would be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. Yeah? Okay. Oh! Hey! It's him! Oh, look over there. The crewman, do you mean? He wasn't there before, was he? That's what I thought. Yeah, crewman. Why don't we try talking to him? Probably because I'm likely to get yelled at again. But I suppose I could try. I mean, it's not much of a... I revealed it already. It's not much of a spoiler, but, I mean... Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? Oh, no, it's just that crewman standing by the door. I can't help but feeling like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh, yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir. Yes? What can I do for you? Yeah? I recognize that face, but it can't be. It certainly is. It is! I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga. Hello again. What are you doing here? I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped. Nearly stopped, I hope. I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew on board this ship. Again? You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector. If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask. I never expected to see this man on board. But perhaps his presence can help me get out of this hopeless situation. Hosonaga, please, help me! So, what are your special orders this time, Inspector? Yes, and why are you dressed as a member of the crew? I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. For what? My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard. It was Minister of Justice Jigoku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. and he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Assassinated? How? How could that have even been a possibility? I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama was assassinated? Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew. I see. And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board, from morning until night, every day. Oh, but this happened at night. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin, not here on the first-class deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace. All I can do is humbly apologize. Inspector. So, if there's anything at all I can do to help now, just say the word. All right, well, give us permission to investigate around the place, if you would. We're doing what we can to investigate Kazuma's death ourselves. I thought you might be. You didn't do it, did you? You're not the killer? Of course not. We'd really like to investigate the cabin next door. Yes, so we need to be allowed out of this cabin. I'm sorry. What? You've been deemed a risk to the ship's safety. If you move to even touch the handle of the cabin door, that stormy-looking seaman there would surely snap your neck in two. Sorry, it's night now, so I suppose I'm not just a stowaway now. They think I'm a murderer as well. Would it be possible to give me something to work with, do you think? I'm going to need something persuasive. What do you mean? If I had a solid reason why the next door cabin should be investigated, for example, I'd do everything I could to persuade the captain to allow it. Really, I'd lay my life on the line if I had to. But I don't see how we could give him the journal. There may be a way. What? Really? Think of how you tried to persuade me of your innocence, Naruhodo-san. By presenting me with a piece of evidence that you already owe. So it's literally just teaching us that I can present to other people? Really? In any event. Yeah. Yeah, so sometimes we'll have to do this. We'll have to present evidence to people for different reasons, mostly to add new dialogue texts or, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's literally just as simple as walking over to the present button, clicking it, and presenting the right thing. And as such, I think Kazuma-san's diary would be nice. What's that? It's Kazuma's diary. Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? In what way? He wrote, what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that, but what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? You're very astute, Inspector. That ventilator clearly joins to the next door cabin. That's right. So if we could investigate in there, we might be able to work out what this speckled band is. Hold up a second. I gotta see something on OBS. Can I do this? Ew, no, not... Ew, 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 ew. No, not multi-view. Please no, not multi-view. Let's turn that off. Sorry, I'm just doing something here. I'm trying to get some full screen thing. I don't want F11. Windowed? No, that's not better. There was something here I could see with it. View. Whatever. It's probably not there because I'm recording right now. Anyways, back to thing. That's right. So, if we investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was. Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. What? Really? You're willing to do that? Sorry, I know it's bad, but... Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. This is the least I can do. Thank you. Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Just select move and we can leave this cabin at last. Move. Alright, let's see what we can find out. Yes, so the last facet of these investigation segments to go over is the move button, where we essentially get to move from area to area. Let's get out of this cabin and see what we got. 9th of January, 7:48 a.m. The SS Buria, first class cabin passageway. Whew! I'm finally out of that cabin. I have to admit, this isn't quite what I was expecting. It's less spacious out here than I thought it would be. And this is the most luxurious accommodation. Yes, indeed. Huh. You know, now that I think about it, I'd like to go on a ship, see what it's like, you know, have a... Because, like, I assume it would be like a room probably about as... Maybe not a room as big as the one I'm in right now, but like... You know what I mean? Or maybe that's a luxury liner, I don't know. Like, I would assume the bedrooms, they'd give us like a room or whatever, and we just have like a cabin just like that. Or it's like... Because that Asogi's cabin is probably like... Maybe... like what? 6th, an 1/8, maybe smaller than the room I'm in now. So I'd be like in a room like this, kind of shaking around like that because of the ship, and then, I don't know. What is this ship like actually? Is it like a moving hotel or like, I don't know. Well, whatever. I would like to see what that is one day though. That would be nice. Anyway, whatever. Sorry, I was thinking of I was about to say like I wasn't sure if it would be like a whole cabin like that, or if there'd be like beds, a whole cabin of just beds for everyone, like army style. You know what I mean? Like those pod beds, like those pod areas you'd see in Japan, where like you'd sleep in like just this half cylinder of a pod thing. Whatever. What was I saying? Um, Kazuma-sama was being sent on this study tour by the government. That's why he was being put up in a first-class cabin. Even still, this is about twice as large as my accommodation in steerage. Oh, wow, okay. Really? That must be awful. Oh, look over there. That's another crewman keeping watch. And he looks enormous, even if he is sitting down. The door next to him leads to the second-class accommodation. I suppose he's making sure that no one comes in here who shouldn't. I suppose. Like people in handcuffs? Naruhodo-san, you look like a little boy visiting a toy shop for the first time. I would have thought you'd be used to the ship by now. We've been at sea for 2 weeks already. You've been at sea for 2 weeks already. I've been stuck in a wardrobe going crazy. Well, yes, I know, but the thing is, I was inside Kazuma's trunk when I first came aboard. And ever since then, I've been shut up inside that little wardrobe. It must have been a very trying time for you. Yeah, literally. Like, what did Ryunosuke do? Like, he's in a wardrobe, doing what? Listening? Like, sleeping? Please, don't give me that pitying look. Ah, well, let's look around, shall we? I noticed this, so I was wondering why the heck is there a mouse thing outside the cabins? Oh, a trap for catching mice. Yes, we have plenty of those back home in Japan. Although they seem to be using a lump of chalk or something like that. Yeah, as bait. Chalk? You think mice eat chalk, my friend? Let me see. Yes, I think that is what is called cheese. It's made from the milk of cows. Oh, they didn't know what cheese was. Oh, okay. Huh. Cheese? I wonder what that tastes like. You can't eat it, Naruhodo-san. The trap will snap shut on your fingers. Really? But, I suppose you're right. Hey, if you're smart about it, you can. If you're smart about it, you can make it work. I mean, you could just put your wrist there and put your wrist there and activate the trap. It'd clamp right onto your handcuffs. You weren't actually going to try it, were you? All I've had to eat for the past couple of weeks is Kazuma's leftovers. You don't know how hungry I've been in that wardrobe. Poor you. I'll find a little snack for you later. Oh, look at, what is this, an emergency system? What do you think this is? It's a very pleasing shape, isn't it? That's the emergency alarm. It's probably best not to touch it. Oh, an alarm. It says press only in times of emergency. It looks as though it sets alarm bells ringing all over the ship and brings the vessel to a complete stop. Is that like a sudden stop? Because if that's like a sudden stop, then you might be able to. I might explain why everything in Kazuma's room was strewn about, and maybe why he was on the floor too. If someone clicked that after, yeah, if someone like clicked that or whatever after they left, the ship would have stopped, and what's it called? The room would have been messed up, making it look like a struggle when really there might not have been. They might have like killed. They might have just entered the assassin might have just entered his cabin, killed him from behind by like injection, or because there's poison in this time, so they might kill him by injection or whatever, and then touch that ship to mess up his room and make everyone wonder what the heck's going on. That way they can blend in and make everything look like different. Huh. That might be a good idea. Or maybe that's just me. Whatever. Anyways. Oh, this I have to sit. What are you doing, Naruhodo-san? Okay. Sorry, I almost turned off the recording. I was like, wait. There we go. I had to turn off the full screen. I almost turned off recording. That would have been a disaster. What are you doing, Naruhodo-san? You mustn't touch it. But this is an emergency situation. Just look at these handcuffs. You know full well that's not what the alarm is for. If you were to bring this vessel to a standstill for no good reason, you'd be in an even worse situation. I wish everything would just stop. The ship included. If you have to do something foolish, at least make it something that doesn't affect anyone else. Yeah. If that brings the ship to a complete stop, then someone could have easily just... Yeah, we could have easily just... Someone could have easily just touched it from the outside and messed up the entire ship. Whatever. Anyways, what we got here? Ooh, a map. This looks like a plan of the SS Buria. It shows each deck. Look. The Buria is a large-scale steamship with a triple-depth skinned hull. What a marvel of engineering. Well, it has been playing on my mind for a while now, actually, but how is it that such a lump of metal doesn't just sink to the bottom of the ocean? Oh, that's really quite simple, Naruhodo-san. It is? Well, consider the Japanese archipelago. The islands of Japan? Yes, they're not metal, but they are enormous lumps of earth, many times larger than this ship. And they don't sink, do they? They've been floating happily on the sea since the gods created them. Well, I suppose so. Okay, yeah, just not even going to explain the concept of steamships? Okay. Let's talk to this bright fellow here. Excuse me, but could I ask you something? You little stowaway murderer! That wasn't a good start, was it? Alright, let me try instead. Good day, Mr. Sailor. I'm so sorry to trouble you, but could I perhaps ask something of you? You little third-class lady's maid. Lady's maid? Oh, yeah, not even that would work? We seem to have caught this sailor on a bad day, Susato-san. I am not sailor. My mother gave me name. I am senior crewman, Beef Stroganov. The best thing is just to avoid eye contact, I think. Also, really? Really? Beef Stroganoff? Really? Mr. Stroganoff, about this first-class cabin area. Here we are in the finest part of Buria steamship, for very important persons. What sort of very important persons? Government officials, kings and queens traveling in secret, many important persons. But that is why I'm always guarding this place. Gosh, that's amazing. But somehow I let stupid stowaway inside. I want to pick you up and throw you in ocean, but Stroganov is not animal. Thank you? If I may, I was wondering, is the cabin next to Mr. Sogi's currently occupied? Da! Susato-san, did you understand that? It sounded like da. I think it's probably Russian for yes. Or no. It is yes, I think. Genius. It is not permitted to visit other cabins without an invitation. So it is occupied, okay. Well, it sounds like there is somebody in the next door cabin at least. Yes, it's tantalizing. Oh, well, who's in the next door cabin if you don't mind me asking? His name is Mr. Grimsby Roylott. He is very important Western gentleman. A Western gentleman? Grimsby? Oh, Grimesby. Mr. Grimesby Roylott. What's the pun there? Grimesby Roylott. Grimesby Roylott. I don't know. Oh, is it a Sherlock Holmes name? Because I heard, what's it called? This game has some, like, names from the Sherlock Holmes series, so... Grimes... B. Roylott. Baker Street Ricky? Huh. Wait, what the heck? Hey, you, what? Sorry, I'm seeing some. I searched up like I just searched up Grimesby Roylott, and I found this whole thing of the adventure of the Speckled Band, the 8th Sherlock Holmes story. Yeah, it's literally called the Inspector of the Adventure of the Speckled Band. Wow. A theatrical adaptation was written and produced by Doyle himself, the creator himself, or whatever. Directed by and starring Lynn Harden as Grimesby Roylott. Oh, so he is a Holmes character. That's interesting. Okay. A Western gentleman. Do not think about it. He has nothing to do with the murder of student boy. How can you be so sure about that? Mr. Roylott is authentic Western gentleman. Such a man will have no interest in lowly students from insignificant Far East islands. That was harsh. Could you tell us when Mr. Roylott came aboard? That is not your business. Come to think of it, even though we've been at sea for 2 weeks now and I've been in Cosmo's cabin the whole time, I've never once heard anything from the next door cabin, or even felt like there's anyone there. Well, presumably because since this gentleman is occupying one of the first-class cabins, he must be rather important. Is that right? That is not your business. Okay, whatever. Anyways, did you see anyone around last night? Anyone suspicious? Are you on watch here all the time, Seaman Stroganoff? Da, all the time. So criminals like you cannot come in or get out. I wonder, could you tell us anything about last night at all? It is said about student boy. Were you on watch last night as well? Of course. And did you notice anything at the time? Anything unusual? Does that say hets or hits? I don't know. Susato-san, did you understand that? It was clearly a no. I saw nothing unusual. Nothing at all. And you didn't hear any strange noises or sense anything was wrong in some way? I said no. Sorry. Yep. That was a lie right there. I'm not so sure. I could have sworn he wouldn't catch my eye for a moment there. So something did happen, but he's trying to cover it up or whatever? Whatever. This is enough. I cannot say more now. Oh. It is time for me to report to Captain. You must return to cabin. Yes, alright. Bulkhead to second-class area, staying locked at all times. You escape when the lobster whistle on top of the mountain. Or, as English say, when the pigs fly. Yes, I understand. Good. Now we can investigate this area properly, shall we? Definitely. Alright, let's look at this book. I think I said, yeah. Now we can look at this book, which, Yeah, if we tried this earlier, he wouldn't have let us, so... Anyways. That book on the top of the table there really is huge. There's a pen with it, too. Yes, I'm sure that's the ship's log. Shall we have a little look through it? The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about the voyage has been meticulously recorded. You wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting. Anyway, look here. Last night's log is mostly blank? Presumably that means there was nothing to report. Huh. Really? That's interesting. So there was nothing to report. Huh. Okay. I just find it weird at all. Nothing to report? I mean, if that's the case, then why not just write like a thing in the morning saying there was nothing to report, or like whatever. Every detail about the voyage. Last night's log is mostly blank. Yeah. I mean, if there was nothing to report, you would say there's nothing to report, right? Maybe that's just me. Whatever. Any chance we can knock on the door to this cabin? See if we can get some information out of the guy in here. This is the cabin next to ours. The one the ventilator connects to. Yes, the ventilator from which Kazuma-sama wrote that he saw a speckled band emerging. Maybe whoever's in that cabin can help solve that particular mystery. Let's ask. No answer. We're out of luck, it seems. There's no one in there to help with our inquiries. How annoying. What the fuck? What was that? Came from inside the cabin. Such a high-pitched scream. It must have been a woman. Stand aside? Who said that? Oh, hey, it's Sholmes! I'm about to break the door down. Mr. Sholmes. I shan't be stopped. When the fit is on me, I revel in kicking... oh, sorry, I'm speaking fast again. I shan't be stopped. When the fit is on me, I revel in kicking doors off their hinges. Please, wait, Mr. Sholmes. The door doesn't appear to be bolted. It doesn't? Then how the deuce can I dispatch this muscular urge? What, pray, can I kick? I think we should go in. There's no time to think about stress relief. Jeez, you just opened that, yeah? 9th of that scared me. It's like whatever. That literally scared me for a second. Whatever. 9th of January. The SS Buria, first class cabin number 2. Who are you? A Western gentleman? The man looks Russian to me. We heard a woman scream. A woman? A woman? Don't be absurd. As you can see, there's nobody but me in this cabin. True, this old man does appear to be the only person here. But in that case, who just screamed? Get out, all of you, now! Please excuse the intrusion, but you're Mr. Grimesy Roylott, I believe? Yes, that's me. And you are? I am the one and only, the actual Sherlock Sholmes. You've heard of me, no doubt? No. I am a great detective amongst the great detectives. One who adorns the covers of popular magazines, no less. So I assure you, you may trust me completely. The man uses that magazine like a business card. A detective? A detective. I do not trust detectives. We distinctly heard a scream emanating from within these walls. But there wouldn't appear to be a lady concealing herself within the wardrobe this time. So might I be so bold as to ask you to open that small traveling case? What? Don't be stupid. How could anyone fit in a small trunk like that? Well, it's quite fashionable. Well, it's quite fashionable these days, is it not? Traveling inside one's trunk. Don't look at me. What the oh my, did you see that, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, the case just shook. Not shook, it wiggled, not shook. Leave, now, otherwise I'll call the steward. So, this is Cosmo's neighbor, Mr. Grimesby Roylott. There's no doubt about it. This strange Russian man is hiding something. I couldn't agree more. Let's see if we can find some clues before that burly sailor returns. Yeah? I guess let's just talk to him. Mr. Roylott, we'd like to talk to you about something. No. Oh? I do not want to talk. Leave my cabin now. Ugh, this is going terribly. We're not getting anywhere here. I agree, but there may be someone else who can help. Someone who is so conveniently in a wardrobe. Whatever, first class cabin. Mr. Roylott, we'd like to talk to you about something. No. Oh. I do not want to talk. Leave my cabin now. Ugh, this is going terribly. We're not getting anywhere here. Oh. So the man is literally not going to speak to us or not let us do anything unless we talk to Sholmes. Isn't that right? Alright. Hey, Sholmes. Get your butt out of that wardrobe and help us, Heidi. What are you even doing in there anyways? Do you have a moment, please, Mr. Sholmes? You need only address me as Sholmes. That's what I just did, isn't it? Well, Mr. Sholmes, what were you doing in there? Why, I was resting, of course. Resting? Indeed. I was contemplating our sea voyage from the confines of the wardrobe whilst waiting for the inevitable time that you would need to call my great powers of detection into service. Oh! And it would seem that the hour is upon us now. The time has come. Am I mistaken? Well, no. Actually, you're spot on, for once. Observe closely. Our Russian host in this cabin, Mr. Roylott, is clearly trying to hide something. And do you know what that is? And do you know what is the most effective weapon to use against a Russian hiding a secret? Why? The truth, of course. Though it should be pointed out that such methods are not exclusively for the Russians. Right. Can you imagine how the Russian will react when the secret he guards so closely is exposed? Would you like to witness it? Oh, yes, please. Well then, what you are about to see may well astound you. For I am about to sorry, let me do this properly. For I am about to apply my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Could this man be a more hackneyed portrayal of a dubious Russian, I ask you? What? From time to time it occurs to me. Is the fellow dubious on account of his Russianness, or Russian on account of his dubiousness? I really don't think either of those things should be occurring to you, or anyone. That's right, and Mr. Sholmes. I know this man's beard and dark glasses are hard to ignore, especially on first meeting, but I once read, it is a capital mistake to theorize before you have all the facts. It biases the judgment. Shh, I must have complete silence. What are you doing? Why are you beating at my face like that? Ah, just as I thought. Yes, I have quite made up my mind now. There can be no other explanation that accommodates all the facts. Mr. Roylott, I have reached two incontrovertible conclusions. What do you mean? Number one, your true identity is that of a villain. Using those shears, you are about to end the existence of something most dear. Are you not? And number two, the other conclusion I have drawn. You are, at this very moment no less, in the midst of committing a most grievous crime. Beneath that beard, your mouth quivers with nervous tension as you realize you have been discovered. Does it not? Oh, Naruhodo-san, I never imagined I would witness one of Mr. Sholmes' great deduction with my own eyes. That was a great deduction? Nothing can deceive Mr. Sholmes. In a single glance, he can deduce all there is to know about a person. What? What an ineffable twaddle! Oh yes, I've read about it countless times in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. And now I've experienced the astonishing impact of his great deduction firsthand. This is like a dream come true. I can hardly believe it, but all the color has drained from Mr. Roylott's face. It looks like somehow both of Mr. Sholmes' conclusions were right. How could you? How could I possibly know such things, you wish to say? Very well then, I shall elucidate. I shall explain how it was that I arrived at this pair of conclusions. So, do I cordially invite you upon a journey of logical discovery. Let us board the train of reasoning. Put plainly, let us walk through my deductions together. Welcome everyone to Herlock Sholmes' Logic and Reasoning Spectacular. The first topic to talk about is the old man's identity. So, the dubious-looking Russian, Mr. Roylott, obviously, what catches the eye in the first place? Is the enormous pair of shears in your hand. Now, we ask ourselves, what could you possibly want to do with such an implement? The answer, of course, is staring us in the face. You were on the verge of using the shears to cut away that copious beard you sport. Now, moving on. The question then begged is this: why would you desire to rid yourself of this magnificent beard, Mr. Roylott? Once again, the answer is plain. We have clear evidence to shed light on the matter. Regard, if you will, this morning's newspaper, in particular the fascinating front page article, which it would appear you have read also, Mr. Roylott. I'm sure it needs no further clarification. The evidence that reveals your true identity is the article about the revolutionary. In translation, the headline reads, "Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai." As you cannot fail to observe, the subject of the article possesses an extremely copious beard. Having noted the article yourself, you decided to remove Oh wait, am I speaking fast again? Crud. Whatever. Having noted the article yourself, you decided to remove your most incriminating facial hair before it gave you away. In short, your true identity is beyond doubt. You are the fearsome Russian revolutionary himself, Villain Bolshevik. Not that I have heard of you myself, you understand. Conclusion? A revolutionary on the run. Now for the next topic. The wrongdoing that you've committed. Now, as for my second conclusion, you are, at this very moment, on the brink of committing a most grievous crime. And the proof of this crime? Over there. Oh yes, Mr. Willett. Taken unawares, people have a propensity to let their eyes stray, you see. And I assure you, the eye speaks so much more eloquently and honestly than the mouth. The answer we seek lies where the furtive glance falls. The proof of your crime sits before our very eyes. Yes, that traveling case. It is time, I think, that the case be opened and its contents laid bare. No, I refuse. What could you possibly be concealing inside, we ask? By my estimation? A young lady, perhaps? One slight enough to fit therein. Don't be absurd. And what, pray, would the identity of this young lady in the troubling... would be the identity of this young lady in the troubling case? Dear me. We are not well suited to a life of crime, are we? Your careless coup d'oeil... whatever, betrays you. Once again, we need only follow your furtive glance to find the answer. Yes, the reason you refuse to open your troubling case can equally be found in the pages of this newspaper. For there is another most stimulating article. If we turn from the fleeing revolutionary to the back page. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. Such a headline can lead us to but one conclusion. Your crime is that of abduction. And according to the article, the young lady's name is Nikolina Pavlova. Kidnapping of a young ballerina. Thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of this Russian enigma. Lemensky. Okay. You want to say Rinosuke, or do you want me to say it? Susaru-san. That wasn't one of the great deductions I've been hearing so much about, was it? Well, the stories are full of Mr. Sholmes' brilliant deductions, you know. But that did seem a little different somehow. Excuse me, Mr. Sholmes, could you come over here a moment? Pray, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? It's about your deductions. Would you mind? Not at all. Go on. Well, to start with, there's the newspaper article. I think we had the same discussion before, but these two men look nothing like each other. Ah, yes, I recall our discussion earlier. And at the time, I believe I told you that the man is revolutionary, well able to revolutionize his own appearance. In fairness to Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Roylott does look a lot more like this man than you do. That's not the point. And another thing, the part about him abducting the ballerina. Indeed, a truly startling revelation. At first glance, the case would appear too small to accommodate a young woman. Not just at first glance, it is too small. Clearly. You'd be lucky to fit a 5-year-old child into that case, even if you pushed really hard. I don't suppose the missing ballerina is a 5-year-old child, is she? You mean you don't know? No, the young lady is 15. No, I didn't know. How could I? Huh. Well, if she's 15, then 10 years of her would be poking out from the case. Some years ago, I read something pertinent, I believe. A troop of men consuming vinegar daily in order to promote a certain lithiness in their bodies. Vinegar? For such a sour bunch, it would surely be simplicity itself to consult oneself into the confines of that small case. Oh dear, you might be thinking of contortionists in the circus, Mr. Sholmes. Ugh, this whole thing is turning into a circus. Miss Naruhodo, something's occurred to me about Mr. Sholmes' deduction. Something's occurred to me about Mr. Sholmes' deductions just now. I think his powers of observation are, well, magical. His eyes cut to the heart of the matter most instantaneously. It's just where he directs his attention and his logic that seems a little off. Your idea of a little may be a little off itself, Miss Susato. It's just one or two key words in his discussion that seem to let him down. So I was wondering if we might perhaps tactfully switch them for alternatives. What do you think? I think that we can do this next time. Yeah, we're already getting into like an hour in, so yeah. Anyways, yeah, so next time we're gonna look over the Great Deduction, and yeah, I'm gonna hear myself with Sholmes' voice again and Susato, seeing if it sounds good. If it does, great. If it doesn't, oh well, we'll keep trucking on. I hope Mr. Sholmes' voice is nice though. I've practiced that thing with a passion. Well, that was one of the 2 voices I practiced, but whatever. Whatever. Anyways, save our game one more time for luck, and yeah. So, next time we're gonna see if we can't fix Mr. Sholmes' deductions. So, I will see you all next time.